What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight I am drinking a Big Lake Brewing Blood Orange Haze. Ooh.
That looks really
I'm
damn
Joseph,
Sounds really
and I'm
good.
drinking a Blacklist. Finally, we got our IPA.
Okay.
That's a great name.
Same
Is last week?
brewery as last time.
Well, that's funny because I'm using the same brewery as last time. I'm Gabe, and I'm still working out the Bud Light.
Gabe, you're disgusting.
If it means anything, I'm going to a brewery after this, so I don't know if that counts.
No.
Just like, why would you buy Bud Light over, I don't know, even just like Budweiser?
Okay,
Or Busch
so
Light.
I got
Or
this at a
Busch.
gas station, and the selection was pretty pitiful, and this was a decent price. That's my reasoning.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
Like, at least get hams.
Yeah,
They don't
honestly.
even have hams, and they don't have any Canadian beers here, or at least like in this town. I'm sure they do in like Santa Fe and Albuquerque, but no Labatt for me.
That's a
Rip.
big rip.
And who are you in the top left-hand corner of my screen?
I am Dayton Pax, and I am drinking the Lizard King Mosaic Hopped Pale Ale from Pipeworks Brewing, which is in Chicago.
Nice.
It's you.
You know, speaking of Labatt, I was watching the show Letterkenny recently, as I have been doing, and telling you guys about. But
that
it's
on
a
YouTube?
Canadian show. It's on Hulu. They
Okay.
also have. They started on YouTube though.
Okay, I've been getting recommended it lately, and I don't know why. Like I haven't watched a single one of them.
I
Because
sent you that
Jacob's
one
been
clip.
talking about it
Yeah,
so
it's
much
here in
that
our conversations.
Google's been hearing it.
Anyway, they made a reference to Labatt in one of their recent episodes, and I had a chuckle. I love
A
Labatt.
reference to
Aren't they
Labatt.
from Canada though?
Yeah, it's set in Ontario.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
But yeah. All right, well, welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast. This is episode 32, and we're still getting back in the swing of things after our summer hiatus. And so, I guess we'll kick it off to Dayton for our topic number 1. Why don't you intro it for us?
All right, so, at work I spend a lot of time staring at the computer. Sometimes I'm doing work, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just kind of zoning out because, maybe it's 7 a.m. and it's a Monday and I'm just kind of like dead.
Dude.
But during those zoning out times, I got thinking about routines and how I had been working for almost like a month and a half, and it doesn't even feel like it's been that long. And then what I decided was part of the reason for that is routines and the fact that, it's a Thursday right now, and this week absolutely flew by. And I didn't do anything out of my normal routine. So really that got me thinking that routines just make things go by a lot faster in life, which is, it's good for the shitty things in life, but it's bad for the good things. So I just kind of want to talk about the routines that we have, why we like them, why we don't like them, what the pros and cons of just routines in general are. And yeah, let's have Gabe talk about it because he's amped up to talk about his
He's
bad
chomping at the
routine
bit.
that he has.
So, so I talked a little bit on the last episode about how, I think I mentioned that I'm ready to go home type of a deal.
Mm.
But the routine definitely made the summer flew by. Flew by? Yes, I can.
Fly by.
I can talk. Fly by. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Anyways, so last summer, like I said, I was in Lansing, and I didn't really do anything after work. I'd mostly go home and just kind of play PUBG with some friends. That was it. But now, even work itself, I have a schedule. So, I get up, same time, but that's standard. Go to work. The first hour, I kind of ramp up to working. So, I'll read my email, drink my protein shake, just talk, how you doing, whatever. Get the blood flowing.
Yeah, the daily startup sequence.
Right, so you get that out, half hour to an hour, and then at work, and then you hit lunch, take a nice little break. You work a little bit, and then I feel like it goes to a peak, right? So you got lunch, you got productivity, and after lunch, it starts real low. It goes up for a little bit, and then, I don't know, you get that last hour, and that's my wind down time. So that's when I just kind of like, all right, there's only an hour left. Let me shoot out a few emails for tomorrow and just, see what everyone else is up to. And then I go home. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go to the gym, which only takes about an hour, but it makes me really tired, which helps me sleep and also makes the day go by a lot faster, I think, because by the time I'm done cooking, it's like 7, 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesday, Thursday, depending on the day, I'm at the bar. But because I have every other Friday off, so my work schedule, it's complicated, but I can do I get every other Friday off by working 9-hour shifts. And then Tuesdays I usually do mountain biking or go outside or something. So I think that having that routine's really made the summer go by faster, because even this week, which is my last week, has felt a little bit slower than the other ones, but it just goes by really quick when you have this set schedule,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a good thing, except you were saying that sometimes it's bad, but I think if you break the routine, right, if you go on a hike or something, or if you do something new, that becomes a lot more memorable, and I feel like time slows down a little bit for me.
Yeah,
I don't know about you
I
guys.
find the same.
But going after work and still and doing something every single day, which is what I try and shoot for, at least do one semi-productive thing outside of work, has really made things go by super fast. But I'm also kind of shooting towards getting back to school and then getting that shit done with. So I don't know what it's gonna be like when I have a full-time job and I have to I'll kill time, right? I'll have my routine, but then it's fuck, a year went by. That's kind of scary to think about, because after that, I don't know what I have to look forward to.
Yeah,
or,
right now, Gabe, you're looking forward to being done with your internship, and then you're like, all right, I'm looking forward to being done with school, and then it's just what are you looking forward to be done with after school?
Life.
Exactly. I'm ready to be done with. I'm ready to be done with school. So I'm just getting in this routine, just fucking grinding it out, or trying to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, time only goes so fast. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be weird because sometimes I'll look forward to if I'm having a couple of shitty weeks, to be oh, this album's coming out this week,
mm-hmm.
or this movie or this show, and that'll give me something to look forward to. But there's only so many albums and movies to look forward to, and when you're working for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
For you, Gabe, what are the pros and cons of routines in your life right now?
Pros, I'd say well, especially the gym, it makes me very mentally healthy. I don't think a lot of people realize how much that helps your mental health. It makes, and in self-confidence too. I feel a lot better, but it also keeps me sane, that I'm not just working, right? I'm doing something productive outside of work. So that is the biggest pro for me, is it kind of keeps my sanity. It keeps me feeling productive. Cons, I guess, depending on what it is, like I was saying before, time goes by so fast, and it's just this summer went by really quick. Not that, like I said, I'm ready to go home, but it's just crazy. It felt like May was literally a couple weeks ago. But we're also getting older, and that tends to happen, where you're oh shit, 5 years went by. It's just kind of scary to think about.
Yeah.
I have a theory of why routines make time go fast. So imagine, I'll do an analogy here. Imagine playing Minecraft, right?
Okay.
And you got your inventory, right? You have all these little slots. Pretend that inventory is your memory slots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how if you have 2 pieces of wood, they can stack into one stack. It only takes up 1 slot, right?
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
So with routines, if you do the same thing, for example, I've had Orgo Lab twice a week for the past 13 weeks, right? When I think of Orgo Lab, I don't think of 26 different occurrences. They're all kind of smashed into one stack, and you just, I just think of that general experience, and maybe a few things stand out every once in a while, but I kind of mush it all together. Whereas if I did something different at twice a week for the last 13 weeks, I would have different memory slots filled up.
Yeah.
That's
so I think
interesting.
that routine kind of smushes everything together, and it takes up less space.
Well, if you
That's
guys,
interesting.
if you guys think about just the house right now, you think of us being in the house. I just think of being in the house with you guys around. I don't think of anything specific right off the top of my head. I mean, if I tried harder, sure. And same thing with work. I just imagine being in my cube and doing
Well, yeah.
whatever.
I think we blur out all of like the mundane stuff, right? Like you're not gonna think about coming home, going to the front door, and walking up the stairs every day,
Yeah.
even though you did that multiple times a day, every day for 2 years.
Well, I feel like that's an
You know?
evolutionary thing almost, because it's like it's not important, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
if you
mean,
learn
to me
something
that
different-
sounds kind of like mindfulness. Like, I feel like routines almost make us less mindful, and then by being not mindful, we tend to just zone out from everything that's around us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then,
Mhm.
you
It's
know,
kind of like those
time
times when you
included.
drive.
What?
Yeah, it's like those times when you drive to work or drive
Oh, yeah.
home, and you just like kind of you get
Mhm.
home, you're like, how the fuck did I get here? Like your
Yeah.
brain turned off because you just know like the drive so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Joseph, tell me about your routine.
I don't really have like a routine at work.
But like, what
Other-
about getting
I-
to work and stuff?
I mean, like, yeah, in the morning, like, I have a morning routine where it's like I shower, change, you know, eat breakfast, drive, and I usually take the same way there. So, like, in that aspect, I have a routine, but once I get to work, it's like, yeah, I check emails, but yeah, I don't really have, like, a set, like, routine at work. Like, I don't sit around for half an hour talking, you know, in the morning, or,
At
like,
Gabe.
have a ramp down of an hour at the end of the day.
Come on, everybody has that ramp down. The
I
last
don't,
hour,
like-
nobody gets you anything done.
Dude, I don't know. That's just not. I mean, it depends on like how I wouldn't say it's part of a routine. Like, yeah, I do it sometimes, but it's not like, all right, 3 o'clock. You know, I'm done, but I'm still here for an hour, or you know, whatever.
I think it's because
Yeah.
Joseph's ramp down starts at 7 a.m.
Gets up at 6:45, ramps down at 7.
Well, that was a long day.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. I think it
just
could
gets
also
out of the
be,
shower. Well, what a good day. Time to slow down.
it could also be
Oh.
because like I work 9 hours though. Like if I did 10 hours, I think maybe I'd be even less productive. Or like, I think most people would be less productive.
Yeah, there's gonna be diminishing returns at some point.
Right.
Yeah, I think the most that I think for me at least it depends on when I start working. I think if I started working at 6 and I worked until like 4 for 10 hours without like lunch or whatever, or like a
Mhm.
working lunch or whatever you want to call it, I think I could do that. But it's like the later in the day that it gets, the less productive I get. Like my most productive are like early morning to like noon, and then from noon on it's just like I'll do stuff, but it's not going to be nearly the caliber that it is in the morning.
That's not
I
how
totally agree.
I do school.
I wouldn't agree with that. For me, it depends on what like the given task is. Like, I don't know, cause like I'm not gonna start something at 4 or like 3:30. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, if I have something that needs to get done and I started it early enough, like I'll work through till 5:30, no problem. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna quit something halfway through.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like start like not work. It's like I need to finish this before I'm going home. So why am I gonna dawdle as I do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like if you're like in the thick of something, then you're gonna crank it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, usually.
And then after work, I drive home, make dinner, and then sit around. Depends on the day on what I do afterwards, but yeah, I've been grilling a lot, so I'll sit outside by the grill because it's like a community grill that I use.
Harass people as they come up.
Yeah, pretty much. Listen to my
Cat call all the
Yeah.
women that walk by.
Yeah, all the women with their boyfriends and dogs. I swear, everyone has a significant other and a dog where I live.
Oh
It is,
my god.
it is bizarre.
Are you saying I'm gonna feel even more lonely when I'm there, Joseph?
You don't have to though.
Listen, you
I'm
guys
gonna
had an
be-
excuse at Tech. You can't have an excuse there. There's so many young
Exactly.
people in Minneapolis. So many.
I was talking to my friend Chris yesterday because it's his birthday. He's like, yeah, I'm excited to go back to Minneapolis. He's like, yeah, you're finally gonna be able to see women around. I'm like, yeah, I probably won't talk to him though because it's me, so not much different. but-
Right.
Dude, you see women in the house that you live in right now.
Oh,
What's
don't
wrong
even,
with that?
don't even get me started. This week has been trying times, dude.
Fantastic.
I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah, I really don't have like a routine at work. Like, definitely before work I have a routine. Like, I'm a very morning routine person,
Mm-hmm.
where like I get up at the same time. When I leave my room to like eat breakfast, I check the clock and it's always 7:09 or like really close to that. Like,
That's solid.
I always get
and
out of
like
the shower exactly at 6:23. I don't know how that happens, but it just happens every
it's
time.
like yeah, it take the same amount of time whether whether it feels like my hair isn't being put up the way it should or not. Like same time every time. It always works out. And then yeah, I eat breakfast, and if I was lazy the night before, I'll make my lunch, but try to make my lunch before I go to bed. Hasn't been
That's
working
very-
out at all this week, but
That's the adult thing to do, right? Is get your shit done the night
Yeah.
before.
yeah.
I don't know,
And then I
think-
get home and I try to get at least one productive thing done before I start like watching YouTube or
Goofing off.
Netflix or something.
Like what at home is productive? Like cleaning or?
Yeah, cleaning, or I even like consider calling my parents productive because I don't do that enough. Or
That's
like there's always something I need to take
Some
care
chore,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, some chore, I need to buy, like, been putting off buying my nephew a gift for his birthday.
Did you give him
Yeah.
that gift you were telling me about?
I'm definitely
The-
going to, but I haven't done it yet.
You gotta hop on that, dude. The shipping.
I
It's
know.
gonna slow you down.
Oh no, we already missed his birthday, so
Nice.
You're a bad
Oh, he
uncle.
doesn't know the difference. He's 3.
Yeah.
Gotta get it in before his next one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be within the next couple days. I'm gonna do that. But
Do you think it's good that your work doesn't have a routine? Does that like kind of keep you more engaged or less engaged? Like,
yeah, I really like it. Because then it's not like, okay, or say like every day at like 10:30 roughly I have to get this thing done. It's not like something was building up before and it's like, oh shit, it's 10:30, I got to get this done, or it's like, oh man, it's 9:30 and I already have this thing done. Can't do anything until for the next hour because this task is already done and I can't start, whatever.
Yep.
So like in that regards, I really like it. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what am I gonna do tomorrow? I need to
Mhm.
kind of make a plan for myself, and usually, I have supervisors so I can be like, hey, what should I get done tomorrow?
Yeah.
And they'll give me a list and be like, okay, I'll do some of those things.
I think
Not all of them. Some of them.
I'll try my hand at as many of those things as I can. If
You gotta spread that work out so I still have a job,
I think that
Pretty much.
a lot of that is just kind of the nature of engineering and STEM jobs, though. We're like, yeah, I have like a routine, but it's not like I'm doing the same thing every day. Like you have different problems to solve.
Well, yeah.
So I think that breaks up the monotony a little bit. I mean,
But
for me, my
I
days
wouldn't
go
even
by
say
pretty
I have a
quick.
routine at work,
Really.
Yeah. I mean, I eat lunch anytime between 12:05 and 1 o'clock. Like, I don't...
It seems like a routine.
It's-
It's a pretty strict timeline.
Okay, question to everyone.
That's
Do you
like
guys-
start lunch anytime between that time
Okay.
frame.
Do you guys all shit at the same time every day?
No.
No, and it's been
No.
pissing me off recently. Dude, TMI, but I've been on 2-a-day shits recently, and
Really?
I'm not a fan.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. Because it feels like the first time, it's like, okay, this was pretty decent shit, whatever.
You're cresting.
And then, like, a couple hours later, it hits me again, and I'm like, well, what the fuck was that? So,
At least you're getting paid to shit, so
yeah, it just pisses me off.
yeah.
More obnoxious than
I mean,
anything.
you get paid to shit twice a day. Might as well.
Yeah, but they're smaller shits, so, like, they're quicker.
Not as
I mean,
satisfying.
I guess that means I'm healthy. So, like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
I've been trying to force my body to shit in the mornings, but I was on a really good streak for like a month and a half, and then one day it
Streak.
just went downhill, and I haven't been able to get back on it since. It sucks.
I used to be really
Thank you,
good.
dude.
Like, for the past year, I had a solid morning shit. And, like, honestly, best way to start the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just stopped. And, like, for a week, I was shitting at, like, 11 o'clock at night. And it's like, I can't be doing
that
this. I need to
sucks,
go to
dude.
bed. Like, I'd
That
literally
sucks.
get out of bed to go shit.
You should just shit the
And,
bed instead.
Honestly.
Start wearing some adult diapers.
And then blame someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Blame the neighbor's
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, too bad you don't have a dog to blame it on, though.
Hey, don't blame Newman, alright? Newman's cool. I haven't met him yet, but he seems cool.
Newman.
But
yeah.
my routine has been really weird this summer because I have no accountability. That's basically what it comes down to.
You don't have
So-
us to be like, you lazy fuck.
Well, it's not even that, but my classes are online, so like I don't have to be anywhere at a certain time. I have
Yeah.
lab twice a week at 1 o'clock, but like I don't have like a 9 a.m. or an 8 a.m. or a 10 a.m. even. So it's been on me to like get to campus early and start working on shit. And like I've been pretty good about it. There was a solid month or so I would say that I got up at like 8, got in the shower, ate breakfast, got everything ready for the day, made my lunch, and got to campus by like 9:45. I was solid for a while. Then I have 3 hours to work until, or 2 hours to work until lunch at noon/1, and then work until 3 or 4. So it was pretty good. But recently, as what happens to me every fucking semester, is I start out, get up on time, by the end of the semester I'm fucking sleeping in like every goddamn day, and I hate it. But it always happens. Like this week, like today, I was supposed to get to campus, or I should have got to campus at like normal time, 9:45, 10. I think they're till 11:30 because I was fucking sleeping in.
Jesus.
And it's just like I have a lot of shit to do, but I just cannot force myself to get out of bed some days.
Jacob, one of my memories
sucks.
of the house is packing my lunch for the day in the morning and hearing your alarm go off 3 times. And I'm out the door and your alarm's still fucking going off.
Yeah, I remember being
I
down
have
there
quite a few
lot with you
memories of
guys.
me making breakfast and hearing your alarm
Yeah,
go off.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We would always have bets going. Like I'd be like just chilling down there, like eating like a bagel or something like that, and like Joseph walks down and it's like, I think he's gonna get out of bed at this one. And we're like, nah.
I was
Not
on a
for the
good.
next 2.
I was on a good run this summer because I got a new alarm that makes me do math problems to turn it off.
Why don't you just
Get the
get up?
barcode scanner. Get the
But I'm-
barcode scanner.
I can't do the barcode one, Dayton.
Why
'cause-
not?
Because if I was smart, I put the barcode on the 3rd floor in the like in the bathroom. But I have to walk past everyone's rooms and I'd wake them up with my alarm going upstairs
Fuck
every
'em.
day.
No, dude, Jacob, just put toothpaste in the 1st floor bathroom, and then just scan that.
Yeah, I guess.
Why don't you just
gotta
get
stop
up?
making
I got a
excuses,
week and a half
kid.
left here. I'll get my new shit figured out. And I'm with Joseph.
Just get up at
I
the
swear to
first
God,
alarm.
if you keep the barcode in my room, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, make it one of those like acceleration ones. Then you have to like physically punch Joseph with your phone in your hand to like wake up and turn it off.
Or
Well,
get
yeah,
the
it's
ones
just
that
like-
fall off
so
the
what
desk
happened
and
was
you have to chase him. He goes into Joseph's room every
Oh,
morning.
dude, honestly,
Oh,
that
God.
shit would annoy me so much. I would pump that thing across the room
Could you
so
imagine
fast.
spending money for that type of chaos? Like, there's no thing.
Okay, but that'd be really funny though.
I wanted to get one of those scale alarms to just stand on it for like a certain amount of time.
I feel like
It's
I'd
like I
fall
was-
asleep standing up.
I think I just put some
Maybe.
bricks on it.
Yeah, you find a way. So it's like I always find a way to get out of my like morning wake up routine.
Are you guys
Uh,
one alarm
and
people
I will say,
or are
like-
you multiple alarm people? This is to Dayton and
One
Joseph.
alarm.
I'm a one
One
alarm.
alarm.
Okay, so he's the outlier. All right.
Yeah, I'm at least 3, if not 7.
I would say, Jacob,
Oh
you're
my
at
God.
mostly double digits.
What's the
from what I've
most
noticed.
amount of alarms that
Yeah,
has taken
yeah.
for you to wake up?
Honestly, at least it's probably double digits,
Oh my god.
like
What?
11 or 12. I've had this bad habit recently of like just 10 more minutes. I'll set a timer for 10 minutes. It's like, oh, it's 5 more, and it just keeps fucking keeps going. It's bad. This morning was one of those days where I just kept setting like small timers and I just could not.
Can
get out of bed.
you fall asleep in that time?
Oh yeah, 5
Well,
minutes.
it's probably like he just woke up, like
Yeah.
he's not like awake. He's like in
See-
like that weird like pseudo awake
I
sleep.
hate that
Joseph,
state.
I can if I have an alarm that's went off every 5 minutes, I could fall asleep and wake up in those 5 minutes every single time.
So I don't know, like, when in middle school, I had my alarm across the room from me, like an alarm clock, like a plug, an alarm clock
Yeah.
across the room. So I had to
You know
jump
when they
out of
made
bed
those?
to turn it
Huh?
When they
It's
made
outdated
those
tech.
dedicated
off.
alarms.
Dude, I still have one from when my phone was stolen. And I still use it
I
actually.
gotta buy an alarm clock.
Yeah, I had to buy an alarm clock. You know how demeaning it was to buy an alarm clock?
Probably felt like you're 80 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go to
It's
Target.
2019.
Anyway, so like, I had an alarm clock across the room, so I had to like get up to go get it. So now anytime I hear an alarm, I immediately like jump up. So I don't know if I was just like conditioned for that, but yeah,
Joseph,
I can't
wait.
fall asleep after hearing an alarm. Like it would take
In,
honestly at least half an hour for me to like actually fall back asleep.
See, that's crazy. I can fall asleep. See, when I'm trying to go to sleep at night, I can't fall asleep, but in the morning, I can just keep falling asleep super easily. But like in middle school and high school, I literally had a loft bed. I had to get down out of the loft, walk across the room, and shut off the alarm. And I would still crawl back into bed every like 10
What the
minutes.
fuck, dude?
Because I just love how good sleep feels. I fucking love
That's
it.
one
feel
thing I
like it'd
hated
be
about
too much
Cooper.
work to climb back into bed.
No, honestly,
worth it,
Cooper was a
that's fine.
5
I'm
alarm
lazy
guy.
enough. Like I'm just lazy enough that it's like I'd rather go and do my day than climb back into a bed. Like,
See, here's
to
my
physically
logic behind it,
climb.
right? If you need to set, let's say the latest you need to get up is 7:15, right? If you set 5 alarms up to 7:15 and you start at 6:30, I could have a much better sleep if I just set one alarm at 7:15 and get the maximum amount of quality sleep, wake up and go on. Or I could have a bunch of like half an hour of shitty sleep while I wake up. I'd much rather just like maximize my good sleep and get up.
See, now that makes sense, Gabe. But the problem is my brain has been hardwired to need to snooze. I cannot get up without snoozing at least once. If I set for a 7:15, I wouldn't get up until 7:45. Even though 7:15 is the latest I'm supposed to get up. It's bad. My brain is hardwired.
That's fucked, dude.
Anyway, back to my actual routine.
Sorry.
Yeah, so like I said, like at least during the school year, like last semester, me and Dade had like a 9 a.m. right or 10 a.m. I don't remember what it was
Did we?
with Herbert's class.
Oh,
It
dude,
was
that
at
class
9 a.m.
fucking sucked.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
because you slept in one time and I was like cooking up breakfast and you stumbled out.
In his
Yeah, I think it
boxers.
Let's
Yeah.
say it was 10 a.m. But like worst case, sorry, worst case if I get up at 9:30, I'll just go to class while taking a shower and then I'll shower later. But like in the summer when I don't have a set like time to be somewhere, I can just still shower and go through my time. But I'm just starting later in the day. Then I don't get there till like 11:30. And like what Dayton was saying earlier, like the later in the day it is less productive I am. So like if I start at 9 or 10, I'll be a lot more productive and get more done. Because like no matter what, I'm stopping at 4. Doesn't matter when I start, I'm stopping at 4. So like I have to get there early to be able to get shit done. Because like I've also trained my body to just not get shit done at night. Because I just like need to like turn
Watch
off.
anime.
Exactly, watch anime, play something. I'm just like once I eat dinner, like shit's done. So it's really important for me to get up so I can be productive. That's where like routine's good for me. Is like it gets me out of bed, it gets me somewhere on time, and I can be productive. But if I fall out of that routine, which I always happen to do every 5-6 months, then it's not good. So
See, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned like once you eat dinner, then you're like done. Because recently, I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast or even if I've told you guys, but I've been eating just like one meal a day pretty much, and I eat from like I don't know, like from like 3:30 until like 5ish, and I don't know. I really like it, except I'm wondering like what kind of conditioning I'm doing to my brain right now. So like, if I were to start eating lunch at like like a normal time, like noonish, if I kept on doing this for like a few more months and I just switched to
Like,
like
what would
the
happen?
new lunch, if I would just like stop working at like 12 and I'd just be like, sorry guys, like I don't know what to tell you.
Checked
I'm
out.
conditioned.
Yeah.
Like, not much I can do about it.
really funny, Dayton, if like someday down the line you like have a family and you just have the same shit where like your kid's like, Dad, why don't you eat? It's like, oh, I only eat one meal a day. You're just like scarfing down food at like 3:30. The kid's like, what the hell, Dad?
Okay, but honestly, I love eating one meal a day because it means that I can just fucking gorge myself with food. And like I'm losing weight right now, and I'm still
Yeah,
like,
because you're intermittent
Yeah, because you're
fasting,
eating
essentially.
one meal a day.
yeah, but it's a huge ass meal, dude.
How
And
many
I'm just
calories
like,
do you think you have in one meal on average?
It's probably like a little under 2,000 because I'm losing weight right now. at a pretty decent rate.
Like, I can't even imagine eating that much food in one meal.
Well, it's like
Like my
Like, that
stomach
many
would just.
calories.
it's
Don't have
one
breakfast
meal.
or lunch.
It's one meal
And
with
then see what happens.
Yeah,
It's
I
one
would
meal in
last
air
more than a
quotes,
couple
like-
hours.
it's like an hour and a half. So it's like I
true,
immediately
you do
shovel
spend
like
that.
half a tub of hummus and some like pita and like veggies, and then I'll eat some like sort of like, I don't know, usually like rice and beans or like quinoa or like something like that, and then I'll finish it out with some fruit and maybe like a granola bar or something like that.
How much hummus do you go through a week? Just out of curiosity.
Oh,
I was gonna ask that too.
probably honestly like 5 tubs or more.
Like,
I wanna-
roughly, how many pounds of
It's so
hummus
much
would you say you eat?
fucking hummus.
I want the quantity in pounds.
Dude, honestly, it's probably, let's see, a tub is probably what, like a
The-
pound?
Do you get like
maybe?
the Sabra hummus?
No, dude, Aldi brand hummus is honestly
Do
flames.
they have Costco hummus?
I think those are
They don't have
17 ounces.
Yeah, they're probably about 60. It's like a pound.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's a
I
bit
go
of
through
more
about
than
like
a
pound. 5 pounds a
4 to
week?
5 pounds a week.
Oh my god.
I really hope you have like the same cashier every week. And there's like every week this guy's buying 5 fucking tubs of hummus. Like, what is going on? Is he hosting parties every week?
Right,
like,
like,
how's he going
I
through
understand.
this
I understand one party, but it's every week.
Party for one.
He just hosts a lot of people, you know? It's like that
I
time,
mean,
dude, if
it-
Dayton ever goes drinking and throws up, it's gonna smell like hummus.
Oh my
Just,
God.
Like what
CC.
CC was.
Ugh.
See,
Okay,
Dane,
but
as
I-
someone
dude,
who's like going into nutrition, I'm a little bit worried about you, but I'm also not, because like I know like you know how to take care of yourself, and like it's technically you're intermittent fasting.
It's
and as long
honestly
as you're
not
not
that much
hungry.
hummus. It's
No,
not that much hummus.
not the hummus, not the hummus
Oh,
specifically,
oh.
just like the one meal a day.
I thought we were still on this hummus thing.
Puts hand on
I'm
shoulder.
past the hummus.
Dayton, I am concerned about your hummus intake.
This is an intervention.
You're
No, but, like, for
concerned
the one
about the
meal a
intermittent
day.
fasting?
I'm a little bit, because I'm worried that you're not getting enough calories, but like
Mm.
you know, you're probably fine. Worst case, your body will tell you like, hey, you need to eat because you'll be hungrier earlier in the day.
Yeah,
So-
and like right now I have fat to lose. Like I weighed in this morning at 196 and roughly like 19% body fat. So I have plenty of body fat to lose.
Yeah, that's
Um,
energy you gotta burn off.
Yeah, so
How
until I
much are
get
you
down to
supposed
like,
to have?
what do you mean? Like supposed to have what? Body fat?
Body
Yeah,
fat?
I thought 19
Like
was like
roughly
really
50%.
healthy.
You say 50%, Joseph?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean,
How
I'm
fat
sure
are
it
you,
ranges.
Joseph?
Look at me. I'm like 36, maybe.
Okay, but seriously, I'm asking.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
how
so-
much is it
Probably
gonna-
around 10, maybe less.
No, 10 is like
super athlete.
12 is like good if you're muscular. Anything below that, so like in like the low single digits is like bodybuilder, like you're going into like a show or something like that. And then like, you know, like 5 to like 10 or like 11 is considered like peak athleticism, like your, let's say like a pro like soccer player or something like that, where you're like running like, I don't know, like 10, 15 miles like a day while like doing practice and everything like that. And then like 12 to like 15 is considered like athletic, or I think it's like 12 to 18 is considered like athletic, and then 18 to like 22 is considered overweight, and like 22 to and up is like obese.
All right, I got one more question.
So roughly
How do you-
50%.
How do you?
Yeah, roughly.
How do you calculate your body fat percentage?
There's a lot of different ways. You can either, the most accurate way is by doing like you weigh yourself underwater.
But
So
you're
in-
not gonna do that.
no, that
Well,
way
that's
is
not
like
an option
insane.
for me.
Yeah.
There's also the electro thingies where you put your hands
Yeah,
on the electrodes and
Well,
it shoots
it's similar to that. That's just body impedance. So it sends an electrical current through like your legs on a scale, or through your hands or whatever, and then it measures the amount of resistance. And then it correlates that to like a data set. You don't feel it. It just
Oh.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
shock
know,
you.
It's,
but-
yeah, it's not like it's sending like
You really
20
don't.
volts, 24 volts.
No,
through
no,
you.
you don't even feel it.
Fat ass.
And then there's also a few like you can do body calipers, of course, or like fat calipers, but that has a lot of error percentage in it, just like by users because like everyone's gonna use the calipers a little bit differently to measure like the fat. And then there's the U.S. Navy one, which just measures like circumferences. So like you measure your wrist, your neck, your waist, your thigh, I think like your bicep, and then you like input it into like a formula or whatever, and it spits out a value. But I just use the electrical impedance. It's not the most accurate, but it
Fair
still
enough,
shows
though.
trends. Like,
Mhm.
The real quick and dirty is just do your BMI, which is similar, not the same. But that's really just like
Aw,
a height
dude.
and weight thing.
dude,
Well, I
BMI
was
is
curious
BMI is
because
fucking garbage.
I've
BMI is for
gained, like-
population, it's not individuals.
I've gained like probably 7 pounds since I started working out. But like if I put it in BMI calculator, it's just gonna say I'm getting fat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fat.
Because you
obviously.
are. I'm seeing that dad bod showing up on you, Dave.
The best,
All
the
right.
best way.
The
best way to
Joseph, the photo
honestly
for this
judge that-
Instagram post is gonna be both of us shirtless next to each other. We'll see you as the dad bod.
I don't have a dad bod.
Anyways,
I have the Auschwitz bod.
Oh my god.
Auschwitz.
Yikes.
Anyways,
No,
Dave,
Gabe,
what were you
honestly,
saying?
the best way to like view your progress is just to, like look in the mirror. If you're seeing changes that you like, then right on.
I mean, that's been my measure. Up
Yeah,
at this point.
I think that's the best way.
Or if you see changes you don't like, maybe do something about it.
Yeah.
I.e. me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What? How do we even get talking about this? Oh, one meal a
Talking about
day.
routine.
Nutrition.
Well,
Yeah.
also
one,
a meal
one
a
meal
day,
a
yeah.
day. Yeah. So I mean,
I bet once your body fat gets down more, I'm sure you'll probably get a little more hungry, because your fat cells send out a signal that makes you less hungry and burn more fat.
yeah, and it's like right now, it's like, well, I would say I'm really good about dealing with hunger though. Like, I don't give a shit if I'm hungry.
You're just mentally like against it.
I don't care if my body tells me I need to eat. It's lying.
it's like pains in the mind, you know, hunger's in the fucking mind. Like, I don't give a shit if I'm just hungry. Like, I know I live in a fucking first world country. I have food at home. I don't give a shit about how hungry I am. I'll just eat when I get home.
That's my dad's mentality. He's like, as long as I know I'm gonna eat eventually, I can wait as long as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, if I wait too long to eat, and then when I do eat, I like my stomach like is upset for like a couple hours
I'm the same way, Joseph.
after I eat.
Well, how many
Like,
like
wow.
hours fasting is that?
Like if I like an hour, like if I eat like an hour or two later, then I know.
But like I'm saying, how long were you like fasted? Like how long between?
Like from breakfast till lunch.
if I eat breakfast at 7:00 or 7:15, and I wait until 2:00 to eat lunch, my stomach is gonna be upset for at least 2 more hours, if not longer.
Damn, dude, you're fucking weak.
Yeah, it's because I don't have fat to burn. Like,
I think your mind is weak, Joseph.
no, I can handle the pain. It's just the fact that it does hurt, and it's annoying.
Yeah, if I wait too long to eat, not really after I wake up, it's more like in between two meals. If I wait too long, I'll get dizzy, or lightheaded, or nauseous.
I get shaky.
See, I
like
don't
there's
get
a prime
that.
window.
It's like straight up a stomach ache for like hours.
I've had that happen to me. If I'm fasted, like for like multiple like hours, like double digits or whatever, and then I shotgun a beer.
Dude, that'd probably fuck you up. Like one
Oh,
beer and
dude,
then do you have a stomach?
Well, no, dude, that's the thing. Like the times that I've done that, well, the first time was a complete fucking mistake, and I learned in air quotes from it.
Yeah.
I immediately puked it all up because like the
Oh,
carbonation. Because think
right.
about it, like if there's nothing in my stomach, my stomach is gonna be like the size of like a fucking pea or something like that. I don't know.
It's got bubbles all over it.
And like yeah, all that like carbonation just like immediately
Oh.
compressed or yeah, it expanded in my stomach, and yeah, wasn't good. And that's why I said
Well-
learned in air quotes because I've done
Did
it
it again.
multiple times before or after that.
Right.
Well, like on this 4th of July, I didn't eat lunch. because I was busy, and so I ate breakfast, and then I like was super hungry, so I ate this burger and fries from this really good restaurant, and like the burger took a while, so I had a beer, and then like when I finally got back, I had another beer, so I had 2 pints of beer and a burger, and I hadn't eaten lunch, and I threw it up pretty quickly. Like I think I walked like 2 blocks down the street, and I had to find a bathroom because my stomach just could not hold it.
Yeah, your stomach couldn't hold those steins either at New Holland.
God, I miss New Holland, dude.
Shots
I wanna go back there
fired.
so bad.
Yeah, I did down 2 steins.
Jesus.
So
That was
How many
disgusting.
ounces is that?
32.
it's half a growler.
Is it yeah,
32.
it's
So I
a
drank an
32,
entire
right?
growler, and like we were there for what, an hour and a half, 2
Yeah,
Oh
hours.
my
you're disgusting,
God.
Joseph.
Gabe, you can't talk shit about drinking
Oh,
growlers, 'cause-
absolutely not. Because I killed one in the same amount of time, and I had the same response. Like,
Yeah, except I didn't
I would say
end
worse.
up naked in a bathtub.
hey, it was an IPA. That's my excuse.
So was
So was
Joseph's.
mine.
No, it wasn't. Shut
Yes,
up.
Yeah, it was.
Shut up.
Went to the bathroom, spent like 5-10 minutes in there, walked out, good to go.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So, routines.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Bad-
routines,
They're
right?
bad because they make your life go by way too fast, but they're good because you get more shit done. That's kind of what I'm picking up
Mm.
from y'all.
You can get more shit done. Depends on whether your routine is good or not.
Yeah, or if you fall out of it like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I had a great routine for like there was 1 week where I got up and ran a few days before. Like that was fucking
Oh my
mind blowing.
God. I
See, honestly,
exercised
though, like-
once.
But
It was
like me getting up
crazy.
in the morning and running, Gabe, that is a feat.
I think that exercising in the morning though is at least for me it's really good. Like,
I always feel good when I'm done, but like starting it, I just cannot.
see, that's the
mentally push
difference
myself.
between motivation and discipline. You need the motivation like initially to like start doing it, but then after like a week or two, then it's just discipline. It's like, this is what I do in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
After
I don't
a
care
while,
if I feel like shit. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, for the first month, for me, it was really rough, like, getting up. Like, the first week, I was pretty nervous, almost, because, like, I
Mhm.
don't know, like, I didn't know what's going on. And then after, like, the first month, it's just like, oh, this is how things go. Like, Monday,
Mhm.
Wednesday, Friday, this is just something I do. This is just a part of my life. And I just get it done. Just like work. Like, I have to go to work. I have to go work out. And then after that, you just go on without
Mhm.
your day. I mean, at least that's the way I see it. Like,
Yep.
I wish I could do that on my own, but I'm realizing now I need someone or something to push me for that first month
I will
to be
text
able to
you
get in that
every
discipline
day
because I just.
to get off your fucking
The problem is like too is I'm so good at making excuses for myself. Like, I'm a
Isn't
fucking
everybody, though?
magician at making excuses in my brain. I don't know. I feel like I'm especially good at it. Like for example, like today I had lab, so I had to stand for 4 hours straight. So I'm like, that's a good enough. I don't need to run.
I think
I
I've
love-
spent
I love your like
in the
special
last
talents
week-
this episode. I'm really good at making excuses, and I'm really good at snoozing my alarm.
Yeah, that's what I'm good at.
I think I've spent within the last week maybe 4 hours at a desk at
Damn.
work.
Really? Yeah, you're
Like-
mostly on the floor, right?
Yeah, it's been like within the past couple days it's moved away from that. But yeah, for the most part, for the last like at least 3 weeks, I've been on the floor like just standing up all fucking day.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
It's
Which
been
isn't
rough.
it's good. I mean, I remember back in high school when I did catering, like you're on your feet for like 8 hours.
mhm.
I mean, you're
Oh,
carrying
dude.
shit, running around, and that
That
fucking
would
killed
suck.
me. But it was a good
Gotta-
workout.
That's
Gotta
when you need
make sure
those
you have
standing
comfortable
mats or
shoes.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of, I did a lot of like wireless access point installs, which is really nice because it breaks up the day and I just get to like walk around and like see the lab and stuff. I mean, it's not hard work and it's not exciting, but getting able to like take an hour or two from your desk just to walk around feels great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just to like,
For sure.
I don't know, do something else.
All right, well, let's get into our second topic here. So this one is one of mine. So this summer I've been watching a lot of stuff, as you may have picked up on by the way I've been talking. But I've been watching a lot of shows and anime and playing games and shit. And beginning of summer, I watched all of Game of Thrones in one go because I'd never seen it before and it just ended. So I watched
How
all of Game
many
of Thrones.
hours was that?
It's a lot.
Oof, a lot. Every episode is at least an hour, if not a little over an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's what,
The
70?
first 6 seasons is 60 hours. Then
Yeah, I think it's like
7
70.
is 8
4
hours.
episodes total.
Yeah, 74, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of hours, but you know.
Yeah, that is a lot
else
of
am I gonna
hours.
do?
You're looking at 80 around there, probably.
At least.
So, watch 80 hours of Game of Thrones, and I knew going in, because I'd heard you guys talk about, like, the ending
Fucking
isn't,
sucks.
like, the best. So, like, I have low expectations. So, I had low expectations, and I honestly didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't great, but, like, since I came in with Reddit,
You didn't have to
mindset,
wait a
it
year
wasn't
and a
bad.
half for that shitty conclusion.
That's true. I posted this huge Twitter thread on my thoughts, but like I think my personal review is gonna be way different from anyone else's because I don't have like 5 years invested in this show. I have one summer. Like I didn't wait between seasons and anyway.
Or 8 years, as, you know, people had started at season 1.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I jumped in
So that's
at 4.
so I watched Game of Thrones, and I've
Agree.
also watched I watched an anime called Neon Genesis Evangelion, which came out a long time ago, like in the 90s. Super critically acclaimed. So I gotta watch this. It's 26 episodes, cranked it out, and they get to the ending, and the ending was just not good. It was the show was building towards this big mystery, and then you kind of find out kind of what the mystery was, and you're like not satisfied. Like what the hell was that? And you're like, this show doesn't make any sense. I don't know. So it was like really disappointing. The show was really good. Like I was telling Joseph while I was watching, like you gotta fucking watch the show. It's awesome. And I got to the end, I'm like, what the hell just happened? So my question to pose to you guys is a show still good if it has a bad ending? Because I don't think anybody can deny that Game of Thrones is one of the best shows of all time, but it also didn't end on a really good note. So like, does that still make it a good show? Should it still be recommended? I'm just curious on your
I
thoughts.
think it depends on why it's considered bad. So like Game of Thrones, like it started out like the writing, I mean obviously they were adapting books, but
Yeah.
like, you know, super in-depth writing and like character development and all this stuff.
Seasons 3 and 4 were fucking awesome. The whole Tyrion's
Yeah,
trial
and like
season.
there's so much like interconnections
Mhm.
and everything, and then it comes down to the end and it seems very plain and very simple, I guess.
Mhm.
And so the tone of it just completely changed of what it kind of was about. And like, yeah, the plot, you know, it's the same more or less plot, you know, evil threat, you know, got to prevent it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
whatever. But like just like, yeah, they put so much money into like special effects, and like, yeah, it looked beautiful and the acting was great, and like in all those aspects it was still a great show.
Mhm.
But like what made it good before wasn't there in the last 2 seasons.
The characters is what made Game of Thrones so good.
Exactly. And so like so is the show good? Yeah, the show is still good, but the ending is disappointing.
I think
So like,
I
would
think-
you
I
would you
felt-
recommend it then to people still?
I would still recommend
Yeah.
it, yeah.
I would
I-
give them a caveat.
I think it depends on how good it was too before the ending, cuz like
Yeah.
another example of that would be Assassin's Creed 3. Pretty good game. Like, no, it wasn't a great game. I played it in high school or whenever
Fuck
it came out.
the intro of that game. I don't know if that's what
The
you're talking
intro
about.
sucked.
The intro
Most of the game was really good,
literal
but the ending
garbage.
was garbage. And so
Yep.
it's like, I'm not going to play this game again. Like, the ending was horrible,
It takes
boring,
6
not
hours
exciting at all.
to be
But
the guy
the
with the
main
knives.
body of the game was pretty good. You know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So,
I think
no,
a
I
lot of
wouldn't-
games struggle with that.
but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Fucking
Yeah.
sucked. Overall, I hated the game. But, like, the main time that I spent playing it, I liked it. So, you know. But
So that's
I
interesting.
wouldn't-
With Game of Thrones had a bad ending, you'd still recommend it. Assassin's Creed 3 has a bad ending, and you're like, fuck that shit.
But it also has a bad beginning and only a mediocre middle.
Oh, beginning is literally the worst in any video game I've ever played. Like, without a doubt. It takes 6 hours to be the assassin in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. That's the name of the game.
I should play Assassin's Creed 2 again. That was a good one.
Dude, Brotherhood's the
Brotherhood's
best,
good.
in my opinion.
Those two are the best.
Yeah.
Gabe, would you recommend Game of Thrones still?
Yeah, I think so. I think what was the biggest problem for me is like Joseph was saying. I think it was season 8 was that's the last one. Yeah, it was the best shot. It was the best acted. It was the best costume design, like everything, visual effects, best it's ever been, top notch. But the writing was just really rushed, and there was a lot of gaps in logic. Like they're like, oh, this group of people is wiped out, and then you see them literally the next episode, or like, oh, we got to worry about this person, and then they show up and ambush someone for the 4th time. Like, that shit's annoying. But I don't know. I still think that the middle, like season 3 and 4, have a really good are probably the best in my opinion. But those are super good. And actually,
and
I don't know. I just think that it's still a good show. It's just you gotta like go in knowing that it's not gonna be the best ending, right? It's hard to end things.
Yeah. It is, and I have a couple points I kind of want to make, but before I do, point out, like you said, Joseph, with Game of Thrones, there was extenuating circumstances, like the writers did run out of the source material, so they had to go on their own, which changes things. And also with the anime I brought up with Neon Genesis Evangelion, they ran out of money for the last few episodes, so like the last 2 episodes are a very different style of animation, and they make up for that by saying it's all happening in the character's head and the way he's going through like mentally. But there was circumstances where like they couldn't tell the story they wanted to because they ran out of money. So like things happen in the real world that affect these fictional like worlds and stories we get invested in, which sucks. But
in my opinion, what happened in Game of Thrones and like the ending of the story, I don't think is bad. Like the plot points that happened, I didn't think were that bad. Like, whatever. I think it was how they happened and the way that they got to those points that was bad. So like, certain characters died. It's like, okay, that's fine. I can accept this character dying. Whatever. I can accept this result. However, they didn't explain why. Like, I could make those jumps. But I didn't want to.
Right.
And not even like laziness. It's like, okay, I can there were kind of some hints, and it kind of worked kind of decently, but it didn't make complete sense.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Where it's like, I wasn't disappointed with the result so much as I was with the journey, which is most of what the show is. It's not the destination, it's how you get there, whatever.
Well, that's the point I wanted to make with these shows. Like for these shows, especially like going for so long, and you're kind of just working towards this big finale, but you don't know what it is yet. Even like when you're in the midst, like the middle seasons, right? You're working towards something that's so much more exciting when you get to the actual thing itself.
Yeah.
Because like Gabe said, it's so hard to end something that's been going on for so long that people love so much. To be able to live up to expectation is
because they all have their ideal ending, right? Like my ending would have been significantly different.
But and like that, everyone's gonna have different opinions on how they think something should end.
Yeah, and I'm not a writer though, so.
Exactly, and like in my opinion, as long as the decisions made make sense and you can look back and draw those same, if all the character decisions follow how that character has been previously and like quote unquote makes sense, then I'm fine with it. And they kind of did that, and whatever. But I think if they would have put more effort into it and like really shown like one character takes a hard left turn, had they shown that and like really delved into it, it would have been way better. But they just kind of said, okay, now this character is an asshole. And so it's like, okay,
Jamie's arc,
I guess, but
and we don't know if they were like pressured to have less episodes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Dane, I want to ask you a question because I know obviously you don't watch a lot of shows, but you recently watched Stranger Things and you were really into it. And I just wanted to ask you, like, are you worried about that show ending well? Because I mean, Stranger Things has acquired a good amount of hype and like critical acclaim and fan acclaim. Like it's everyone's like it's really good. So I don't know how long it's gonna be, but are you worried about it like not living up to expectation at the end?
I wouldn't say so. I'm not worried about it because at least in like the first season, second season, third season, I've always been really happy with it. And I think just because it has if it has a bad ending, then like who cares? Because I've enjoyed first season, second season, and third season like so much. Like the ending doesn't detract anything from
Those first
like
three.
the first three.
Previous.
So I don't think that it would necessarily ruin it. I think it would just leave a bad taste in my mouth for, uh, you know, like the last season, like how
Yeah,
they
the
closed it.
Nostalgia.
And I think that speaks more to the writers than anything. But I think a lot of people tend to get butthurt about endings because they're like, this isn't the happy ending. Like, this isn't how I personally imagined it. It's just like,
Yeah.
well, sometimes the happy ending isn't the ending that we should actually be having. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But some people just have such a massive fucking hard on for these happy endings. Like,
Dude, I wish one
I don't
movie
know.
would just end with like shit. Like everything just goes to shit. That'd be amazing.
There is a couple that do,
Mm-hmm.
but
they're pretty uncommon.
Yeah.
yeah, because people do want that happy ending. Like I remember Dayton, I was telling you, and I played The Witcher 3 for the first time. There's 3 endings you can get. I got the bad ending, and I was so sad. Like I literally
Mhm.
was depressed for like 2 days because I had spent like 70 hours in this world with these characters, and I just wanted them to be happy, and then I got the bad ending. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this isn't what I want. Cause like it's different with decks. You know, like the good ending's possible.
Mhm.
If I just had a few different button presses on certain dialogue, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was like super down, and like it's amazing. I mean, I've known this for a long time, but like I get really invested in shows and in
Mhm.
games, like in just in those stories, I really get invested. Um, so it hits me kind of hard, and like I was thinking about like BoJack, for example. Like as you guys all know, like I love BoJack. It's been going on for 5 seasons now, 6 seasons coming out this year, and it's like I don't know how that show's gonna end, and I don't really want to have happy endings. I don't think any of those characters deserve a happy ending, but I
Yeah.
just don't know how that show can possibly end, you know? And
Yeah,
like
it's
where it
like
should stop.
I haven't watched BoJack, but like I've seen like excerpts of it in like single like episodes. But yeah, I agree with you in the sense that like I don't think that like the quote unquote happy ending is the good ending for that show. I think
Yeah.
I think that a majority of the people who watch BoJack would agree with that and say that the happy ending would be the bad ending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it just wouldn't make any sense
Hmm.
with the characters. But also at the same time, you want them to grow and be better. But part of the show is like it's really hard to be better, and you know, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens
Hmm.
to that. But
Um,
one last tangent I want to go on before we end is it's an anime tangent, so just hold on with me for a second.
click
Buckle
that
up.
exit button. Alt F4.
So I was telling Joseph about this. I've been noticing this very weird trend in anime recently, at least once I've been watching, where you have this big show, right, and it goes on for a lot of episodes, and you get near the end, and about just like the last plot beat before the last plot beat, they always have this weird ass side tangent of the bad guy or some character in the show is trying to make the collective unconsciousness happen. The idea that everyone's minds should like combine and everyone should know everything about everyone else, that there's no like lies. And I've seen this in literally like 3 or 4 different shows, and it always happens. And I was like, why the fuck is this happening? And I went on Reddit and I like asked the question on like the anime subreddit. I'm like, okay, have you guys noticed like why the fuck are all of these shows having the same plot beat of everyone coming together and be this collective unconsciousness shit? And I was wondering if it was like a Japanese like culture thing or like what the hell. And one person said like, oh, it started with the show Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is the one I just talked about. And when I just watched it, I'm like, yeah, that's what happened at the end. That's why I didn't like the ending, because it's another one of these fucking collective unconsciousness shits where you have this huge mystery in the show of like these aliens coming. You're like, okay, where are these aliens coming from? What's the true motive? All this shit. And it gets to the end, and the one of the bad guys like, yeah, I just want to use their power to make the collective unconsciousness. Everyone combines, so there's no lies. Everyone understands each other. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just I don't know. It's very weird, and it always happens, and it's like really disappointing because you're building this show and there's this huge mystery, right? And you're like, oh, this mystery's super interesting. I want to know why these things are happening. And you get to the end, and it's always the same answer. It's always this collective unconsciousness, and it's not satisfying. And then there's like the ending after that, and you're like whatever. But I keep getting pissed off because like this is really interesting mystery, and then it's a shitty payoff. On the contrary to that, Joseph and I just watched Attack on Titan, and we just got caught up to season 3. and there's a lot of mystery that show up, like what the fuck's going on. There's these huge, giant people who eat humans, and you're like, what the fuck? By the end of season 3, you figure out like the reasoning behind why everything's happening, and it actually makes sense. And you're like, okay, this is actually very like awesome and satisfying, and it feels good. Like that's not the ending of the show, but it's like a good ending type deal where like I had a really fun this mystery. I found the answer. And it's a good answer, and I'm really happy with it. I feel like it doesn't happen very often. So, you know.
I have.
I would say it's a satisfying answer where like it makes sense and it doesn't feel like a cop out. Like
Yeah.
it's a creative answer to the question that was posed at the beginning.
So.
But it's also like rooted in European history.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of analogs. I don't want to get too into that because like spoilers if you're watching it.
So,
But
Jacob, it's funny
it's
that
rooted
you
in
were
real
talking about
history.
that collective unconscious thing. I'll talk about it real quick because we're kind of running out of time. But I went to this
No, we're fine.
art exhibit called Meow Wolf in New Mexico, and it's pretty well known around the country, I guess. But
Mhm.
it was kind of like an escape room before escape rooms work, but without the escape room element. So you go into this like art exhibit, right? And
So it's a thing,
It's a
like
room.
a thing, but without the thing.
so yes. So the way it works is you can go in and you could just like look at the art and like whatever and go along. But there's
Mhm.
actually like a story behind it. So like there's a house, for example. If you go through the house, like you can like go through a bunch of papers, go through journals, look at like pictures, and you can like start to uncover this story. And so some of them like we'd find like journals, and these journals would have like safe codes, or like this would like
Mm.
mention something and then you find something else. So it's weird
That
because
sounds fun as shit.
it was really fun. But here's where what Jacob was talking about. So there's this aspect where it's like this family, and this family's just like doing weird shit. Like this kid, like essentially it starts off with this kid teleported, and they don't know where he is, and they're trying to get him back.
Mhm.
And it's a little sci-fi, obviously. And then there's this mythos element of it, where if you find certain symbols throughout these exhibits, it means they're part of these beings that facilitate life, and they it's like I can't get too crazy into it, but anyways.
Yeah.
So there's two aspects of it, and at first they seem completely like separate, but then you like realize they combine, and it fucking ends with that same thing you were saying. Like you build up, and that house was amazing. I spent literally 2.5 hours like uncovering like this family, what each person does, and it just turns out these beings were trying to use the family to become some collective consciousness, and I just fucking hated it because
Yeah.
you build up and you're like, what did they get the kid back? Like, what's this
Yep.
person doing? What's
Yep.
this person doing? What's this person? And then you go into a room, it's all audio, and then there's like some projector shit, some weird art shit, and it's just like, we are one, and they're all like all talking in one voice. And I'm just like, no. Like, I just spent almost 3 hours uncovering this for this answer. But going back to the ending thing, like, the ending was total garbage. But I absolutely loved finding all of the little things. Because there was so much stuff that easily you could glaze over. Like, we found some codes that let us get into a computer. We found some codes that, like, we couldn't even find the safe for. We found some that brought you to a website that had a blog, some that had videos, like all sorts of crazy shit. And that was super fun. But the ending was just hot garbage.
Yeah, and like that stuff sucked. And it's like, again, we're not. There's a weird relationship between people who make content and people who consume content. I don't think the consumers have a whole lot of like. I don't know.
They have no empathy. They haven't. A lot of the time, the people who consume it have never tried creating it, so they have
Right.
unrealistic
Yeah,
expectations.
and they don't have like any right to the content. May have a small right, but they don't have like the majority share
But they
of that
still
content.
identify with it, though.
But they feel like they do. So like, I want to be like upset that this was the ending to this thing, but like also I was the one fucking making it. Like that's their art, and if that's what it is what it is. I can't really judge them for that.
Right.
But like you're saying, Gabe, like it's not even like Dayton was saying how everyone has like their ending in their head. Like I want it to be this. It's like we don't even know. We just want to know what the answer is and hope it's cool.
Right.
And then it's not cool, and it's really lets you down, or especially with anime shit where it's like always it's the same thing. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, and it keeps being uncool. And it's like, why does this keep happening? Like stop making this trope a thing.
Like I said, I was disappointed
but
by the
again,
ending,
like-
but I really enjoyed the journey of it. Like,
Yeah.
figuring this stuff out was
And
cool.
it's hard to end things, man. It's really hard because mystery is really fun, it's really cool, and sometimes the answer just isn't what you want, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like none of us are writers are creative enough to make that probably bettering ourselves.
Perfect
so.
ending. BioShock Infinite. Mystery all the way throughout.
Honestly, dude.
The ending.
God,
you're
that
like,
ending fucking blew
what?
my pants off.
He's both people. It's a fucking old game. I don't care about spoilers. And you're just like, wait.
Also,
I haven't ever played it, so thanks for the fucking spoiler game.
You were never gonna play it.
Maybe I would.
Well, he's.
I
Also,
have.
I need to
Arrival.
finish that game.
Oh
There's a lot
my
of games
god!
I
Spoiled it for Joseph. How
Oh,
could
he
you?
never
I-
finishes
I-
games. He literally never.
You've
finishes
told me
games.
the ending before.
Yeah.
Yeah. and I
Dude, the
don't
ending to
finish
the movie
games.
Arrival was fucking awesome. Have any of you guys
Yeah,
seen
it
the movie?
was.
I don't remember how it ends. I just remember aliens on a spaceship that look like ink.
Okay, spoilers for the listeners. Like, remind Dayton what happens. The Amy Adams finds out that their language can be used to go back in time.
Oh yeah,
their,
yeah.
their language isn't time.
Yeah. It doesn't
Like-
have tenses.
Oh, what's the word?
Yeah. It's not limited by time, so she can go back and say things to people from in the past and to prevent like the war from happening.
Well,
And,
no.
like,
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because she has these visions of this kid, right?
yeah.
And she asks him, "Who is this child?"
Mhm.
And you think it's her kid, and like it ends up being her kid, but like
Yeah.
not for another couple years.
And you found out she ends up marrying Jeremy Renner, who she works with in the movie, and like,
Mhm.
it's so cool. So cool. I love the movie.
Yeah,
I
it's-
actually, after I watched the movie, I went and bought the book, and the book is not disappointing, but it's just a collection of short stories.
Yeah.
So like,
It's
just
really, it's really acclaimed though.
yeah, it is. I liked it. I mean, I think I've read like 3 or 4 of them. I haven't finished all of them, but I've read that one. And yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, just like condensed. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that it wasn't
it's
like
really
aliens
cool.
trying to kill everybody type of a thing. Like honestly, it was so refreshing that they're like, oh, they're actually
Mhm.
trying to help you. Like, thank
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
God.
But like, it's a selfish help too, because like, they're like,
Yeah.
we'll help you because you're gonna help us.
Mhm.
True. But I don't know. It's still refreshing instead of like, oh, we're actually trying to kill you, right?
Yeah.
There was a movie I saw a bit ago that had like not a good ending. I was trying to bring up for your example, Gabe. But the one I can think of is a movie called The Graduate, which I haven't seen, but I've heard about the ending.
I haven't seen it.
It's basically this guy falls in love with this girl who's getting married, but at the end of the movie he like steals her away at her wedding, and they run away together, and they get on this bus, and the last shot is them. It's just them in the back of the bus, like they kiss and they're smiling, and the shot just lingers for a second, and you
Mhm.
see kind of doubt like creeping into their faces, and then like the movie ends.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, like,
Interesting.
is this gonna end well? Like, they had like the guy got the girl, like that's what you wanted, but then it's like, oh shit, like I just like stole you away from your like groom and shit, and you know. But I love the idea of that like lingering shot, like what happens after the ending, you know,
That's how they get those sequels.
or not, just leave it open. But all right, yeah, we can end right there. So this is a good episode of the EWF podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Like,
gotta figure out how we're
favorite,
doing
and
pictures.
subscribe.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do pictures for Instagram now that we're all living apart. but we'll figure it out.
Photoshop.
And then, yeah, like Gabe said, like and subscribe on YouTube. Go.
We
check
had
us
no
out
views
there.
on this last episode.
We got no views. We only have 4 subs, and they're the 4 of us.
Yeah.
So,
We got some good
know,
plays
just-
on Spotify though.
yeah.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah, Spotify.
We gotta sell them Spotify ads.
We know you're out there listening. Share the podcast with your friends. It'll be a good time.
Please.
But yeah, we'll see you
Please
guys next
clap.
week. Bye.
Peace.
All right, see ya.
Dayton, I saw you pointing that